You're listening to Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast.
When your heart is aching and your world is shaking, don't give up. No, don't give up.
Hello and welcome to Oh My Health, There Is Hope. I'm your host, Gianna Short, and today I'm here with Cleveland Hughes. In 2009, a therapist encouraged Cleveland to try boxing, and that one decision changed his life. Boxing has allowed him to regulate his emotions, has continued to sharpen his mind, and has given Cleveland the confidence in his ability to overcome any obstacle. He is committed to elevating his skills as a boxing coach in order to give people the same opportunities he has received from this sport. Oh my gosh, by the way, I love boxing because it lets me just not take out on my family and friends. It's like a great release, right?
Yes. Great release. Yes.
Well, welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you here. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but the first thing we ask our guests to do is share their powerful story of hope with all of our listeners. So I'm going to ask you to do that today. So do you mind?
Yeah, no problem. No, I'm very happy to share the story. As you heard the result, right? So you heard a therapist recommended I do boxing and it changed my life. But before that point, I had fallen into a depression. As a young athletic guy, I played high school sports. I played basketball and football, but unfortunately, I didn't have a frame, a frame for basketball or football. So I was kind of a smaller guy. And so, smaller guys don't really excel in big guy sports, really. And so after high school, I had basically given up. I didn't know what I was going to do. Like when you grow up and your one passion in life is to be a professional athlete, and then you don't necessarily grow into the frame of a professional athlete. It's really sad and lonely. So I was spending a lot of time in my bedroom doing nothing but playing video games and just sitting around. And I knew something was wrong, something wasn't right. And I was like, I should want to go out and do other things. I should be able to find another career. I should be able to get myself up. I should be better than this. And so I went to therapy. And that's where everything started for me. That's where my therapist made the suggestion for me to go and try boxing. And what happened was phenomenal. I imagine that people get hooked on things in life, and I was instantly hooked on boxing. I just wanted to be the best boxer I could possibly be. And what I recognized when I started boxing, the combination between boxing and therapy led me to think about the sport a little bit differently. And so like the exercises that my therapist was trying to get me to do in order to emotionally regulate, I did while I was in boxing training. And that was the thing that changed everything for me.
I love it. I think that boxing is definitely a mental download. Like it just gets that out there. And I don't know, my parents the way they would punish us when we were growing up is to exhaust us. So we'd go pull weeds, or we'd have to run, because when you get to that point of exhaustion through exercise, it really does change your mindset, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have any energy, how can you do anything, right? Right?
It kind of does put you in a more humble state. But how has boxing changed your life now?
Oh, well, I mean, now it's my all day, everyday life. I get to spend my days sharing the experience of boxing, the emotional side of boxing with my clients and the people I care about the most. And it's really amazing the changes I see in people when they connect the two things, the connection between what you're doing in the gym versus what you do in your everyday life, and how they are so interchangeable. And I'm a big believer in whatever you're doing at any time, you're getting better at it, regardless if you're aware of it or not. So if you're spending time emotionally regulating, checking in, doing breath work, and asking yourself, am I doing this right? I feel like it's that introspection follows you inside and out the gym. Because when you throw in a punch and your coach is correcting you, you have this tendency in your mind to, when you're doing it, am I doing it right? And I think that was one of the things that changed for me every day. It was like when I would talk to someone, right? I would ask myself, am I doing this right? Am I speaking to them am I speaking to them in the best way I can? Am I throwing my punch the best way I can? It translated for me. So yeah, ever since I started, I haven't stopped. It's been my life the whole time.
I want to take away a few stigmas that maybe boxing has, because you don't see a lot of women boxers, because I think that they think that that's very masculine, or it's in a fighter's mode, and boxing isn't really about fighting at all. I realize when you're boxing, you have a partner, a sparring partner, it is, but it isn't about the fight, right?
Right. It's a lot of people would imagine it to be masculine and aggressive, and there are people out there that do it that way. And a lot of and when you look at boxing from a commercial standpoint, that's what they show you. But the highest level of boxer is the most calm and in control of us all. Mostly, if you really think about it, you're going to get into the ring and you're going to fight, with someone else that has been training to fight, and you have to control your anxiety. You can't get in there and freak out, because if you do, you're not gonna perform. And so boxing is what I would call a relaxed intensity, and not necessarily like a full on aggression. I think of it as tender aggression.
I love that correlation, a relaxed intensity, because that is true. You have to be in a relaxed state, in a focused state, in a calm state for it to work well.
And I think that is in any situation in life where anything is on the line, in a business situation, a test, anything that matters. Relaxed aggression is going to serve you much better than just full out aggression or full out relaxation. It's more like a balance. Somewhere in between is where you need to be in order to succeed and be healthy.
So when you're working with clients and they're coming to you, not because they want to be professional boxers, but they want to incorporate boxing in their life to be more mentally healthy, more physically healthy, more focused, how do you work with them on that?
Well, I created this system called the Healing Mitts Intentional Boxing Training System. And I just added, so a lot of my clients came to me because they were dealing with depression, anxiety, breakups, the list goes on. The things that make people start exercise program is usually some sort of pain. And people were coming to me and they wanted therapy. They really just wanted therapy. So I created a system that enhances the therapeutic benefits of boxing beyond just the endorphins and beyond the release. And the 4 principles each focus on something that I believe it's a skill that you can use inside the ring and outside the ring.
I love it. I know that when I'm going to be 60 years old. I tell everyone my age because I'm super proud of it, because the other option is to not be 60 and not be here, right? So I'm really proud of it and I celebrate it. And I love boxing for a couple of reasons. I walk out feeling like a badass. Like my confidence levels go up. Like you walk out and you just let go on that bag, right? Or let go on your sparring partner and you walk out and you feel like a badass and you get all this confidence and like, I feel good. It's one of my favorite ways. They say it's for cardio, but for me, it's not. It's for mental focus, for like uplifting all that energy inside of me. And I love it. So I've never really correlated it with mental health, but you're absolutely right. It really does help with that.
Yeah, and to say it's just cardio would just be overlooking all the benefits and the details. And that's the kind of person I am, the kind of coach I am, is I have to examine all the intricate details and what you find underneath the top layers of cardio, respiratory, benefits. You find a lot of internal mind strengthening of the boxing.
Well, I definitely want to chunk it down just a little bit to what kind of people are looking for you, because I want everyone to know that, first of all, I think boxing could benefit everyone, especially in today's day and age. We just need to get it out and have something to release on that gives back to us when we do that. So like I release on a bag, or I release with a sparring partner, and what gives me back is energy and confidence and a release of all of that pent up emotion that I might have towards whatever's going on in the world right then, anxiety or depression. Who are the people that are looking for you that will benefit from this?
I think it's people that are dealing with some sort of mental strain, and it's kind of it was really nice to hear you say chunk it down. It reminds me of my NLP days when I was learning about
NLP.
it. Yeah, I think that it mostly people that are dealing with some sort of heavy lifting emotionally, people that need to do heavy lifting emotionally. And man, I would love to make this as specific as I can, but it's like a rainbow of people that I help. But their one thing in common is that they want to be their best selves.
I like that, because we all should be striving to be a better version of ourselves, for sure. One of the other things I think is really fascinating, when I started doing boxing, it was because I was a young mom with 4 kids and they were driving me insane. And honestly, I would snap at things that really weren't a big deal because it really wasn't about that. And I became the mom that the kids were afraid to approach because I would snap, right? And so that helped me have that peaceful and calmness with the kids. Like, when they would be all crazy or all coming at me, it helped me become a better mother, for sure, because all that extra energy was left somewhere else. And all that frustration when I was snapping over something stupid, like they spilt milk when they shouldn't have carried it through this specific room, and I was losing my cookies over it, now became, it's just milk, wipe it up, because I released that somewhere else.
Agreed. And one of the principles I teach is active concentration, and it's about having a response versus having a reaction. And I think that that's what you're talking about right now, is that you got into a place where you could have a response and not just flying off the handle. Especially with moms, mom has got to. Oh no.
I could still hear you, so we're good.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
But especially moms, because mom's cup is always almost empty, like so close. Like, and in order for anyone to serve multiple children, you need to have some sort of release. So I'm really happy that you found boxing. This is really great. I'm glad.
I did, because I am not the typical gym rat. I don't like working out. I hate it. I don't want to be stuck on a treadmill inside of a building, or it's not my thing. But boxing was, I don't know, I was energized by it. It wasn't like, it was fun. It was fun punching something and getting it out there.
And I think I'm the same way as well. Like, I never really liked like doing the weight training and the conditioning for basketball and football, but I never had an issue with doing boxing training because it was just so active. It was so cerebral. It gave me something to focus my attention on, other than just kind of running on a treadmill and trying not to fall down. That's really what you do when you're on a treadmill. You just try not to fall down. It's not that fun.
I think it's so boring that when you walk into a gym, there's a rows of treadmills and they're all just zoned out walking like zombies. And that is
zombie walkers. Yes.
Not my thing. One of the things I was going to ask you is, do you do online training, or is everything basically around a brick and mortar building?
No, I do online training. I train people in person. I do virtual classes. So any way that I can help people, I am willing to go that route.
So again, give us 3 things that boxing can help improve in your life.
Number 1, your emotional state. Number 2 would be focus. And number 3 is your confidence. It really just makes you feel more confident.
I agree. Those are the three things that it definitely helped me with. I really liked it. Plus, it kind of felt like if anyone comes at me in the parking lot, I can take care of them.
I feel sorry for them.
I love it.
Right?
So it is really good for women for self-defense, although I would never want you to be in a position where you would have to even think of using something like that. But you kind of know that if you had to, maybe you could.
Yeah, and I think of it more of a practical self-defense because a lot of the self-defense classes put you in these really strange scenarios with like rubber knives and choke
Right.
holds and things like that, and usually that's not how things happen. But yeah, I think it's really great in that aspect as well.
So I interviewed a lady last year who talked about boxing a little too because it helped her as part of her journey. She didn't teach it, but she was in a very abusive relationship. And when she took boxing because she was going to only let it get so far because she was afraid she was going to get killed in this relationship. But what it did instead was change her mindset. She wasn't going to fight back. She mentally got her confidence to fight back in a different way, right? She found that inner strength and that confidence through boxing to walk out of that relationship and know that she's got what she needs to keep moving forward. So when you said it really does help with mindset and all of that at the beginning, that's exactly what it did for her when originally she started it so she could physically fight back and not be hurt. And she's like, I never had to raise my hand once because it built such confidence in me that I could walk out and know I was going to be okay.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Because, before boxing, I would describe myself as a scrappy kid. Like I got into quite a few physical altercations. But if you notice, I've also noticed this with fighters in general, they are not aggressive. They're not looking for people to fight. They're not looking for altercations. They think about it like, oh, if I get into a street fight and I break my hand, then I can't compete next week. And so they think of their body more or less like a temple, something that they need to protect. And and do things like, okay, maybe I just need to walk away from these situations. It brings more value to your body.
So if somebody wanted to work with you online, how do they go through that process? Because I'm trying to see how that virtually works.
It all depends on what the goal of the person is. I have a bunch of different ways that I help people. For the most part, what usually happens is someone contacts me. They say, "Hey, I want to do training," and then I ask them, "Do you have a bag at home?" And they say no or yes. If they don't have one, I help them find a bag. I sell the bags myself, so if they wanted one to work on with me, then I would just ship it to them, and then we would do sessions. I would show them how to hit the bag. I would show them how to shadow box. I would show them all the things that I could show them within their own space, depending on what their space setup looks like. I mean, I could set up a whole home gym for them if that's what they wanted to do. But for the most part, people just buy a bag. I show them how to hit the bag. I show them how to shadow box, and I teach them everything I can within whatever their space will allow them to do.
I love it. And that's another thing you touched on that it really helped me with is coordination. Like I am like the most uncoordinated person in the world. Like if you had to do the belly and the head thing, I could never even figure that out. But when I started doing some boxing, it really helped me with eye-hand coordination. It was amazing.
Yeah, one of the things that we really I work on my clients one-on-one in person, is eye discipline. And I think that a lot of people don't necessarily understand it. And it's like, well, you need to look directly at what you're about to punch. Imagine if you were an archer and you're going to try to hit a target. What are you going to do? You're going to stare at the target. You're not going to look off to the left and then, you know, shoot aimlessly. And that's one of the major things that people find, is that their eyes get stronger.
Well, it did for me for sure. As far as coordination wise, it was amazing. I just think that you're super fascinating and I want people to find you and start working with you, because I think if everybody had a little boxing in their life, the world could be a better place, or like leaving it on the bag, right? So I love that you also set up gyms for people, or, that you can ship whatever it is that they need, because it's not a lot and it doesn't take up a lot of space. You could set it up in your yard,
Hmm.
be outdoors doing it, or in a workout room, in your garage, wherever you want to do it. Like, that's one of the things I like about it. You don't have to have all this equipment.
Yeah, no, it's fairly simple. You can do boxing training with zero equipment. It's not the most effective way, but you can still do it. So minimalist approve, I would say. Yeah, simple stuff.
And if you're going to start boxing, this podcast sounds awesome. I'm going to grab a bag. I'm going to start boxing. You can't hurt yourself. Like, there is a reason you need a trainer to show you how to hit the bag. Because I can tell you, I came home with some bruises, not paying attention to what I was being told and hitting on the wrong side of my hand. I hurt my wrist. It was like craziness until I said, I probably should listen to this person I'm paying and follow along. So you don't want to just go out there and get a bag and start taking your aggression out on it, because you can hurt yourself.
Yeah, totally. If in fact you're going to do this on your own, I would suggest that you have some sort of experience. Go to a gym, work with a trainer at least for a few weeks before you try doing it on your own. And it's really interesting how when you have a coach, they will bring your self-awareness to another level, because there's a second person to give you feedback. So, you know what I mean? And that also is another one of the major benefits of working with a coach, is helping with your self-awareness.
By the way, I think boxing can be the new meditation. I really do. Because you do kind of go mind blank. You're just focused in on where your eyes going, where your hands are going, breathing. So it could become a new meditation.
Well, that's, when I created the system, my goal was to integrate into the healthcare continuum. The same way yoga has become popular for people. But the thing is yoga is not for everybody. I'm not saying boxing's for everybody, but there's going to be some people that know how to sit still and do yoga. And there's going to be people that are more energetic, hyperactive, anxious, stressed out, that need a place to put the energy. And so, yes, that's boxing is a form of meditation. It is a form of mindfulness. And I'm doing everything I can to bring more awareness to the sport for people in the masses.
So Cleveland, how can people find you if they want to start boxing?
Well, I'm very easy to find on Instagram first, clevelandh.fitness. So at clevelandh.fitness, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can always send me a message there. That's where I mostly do most of my conversations with people about boxing training. And you can also go to my website, www.healingmitts.org. That's healing like healing, and then mitts like boxing mitts or oven mitts, whatever mitts you know how to spell. So that'd be healingmitts.org.
Well, we will put all of this in the show notes too, so everyone can find you super easy. I always have you tell us in case people are just listening and they want to quickly remember where to go, but it'll definitely be in the show notes. So I suggest you totally start following this incredible guy on Instagram. I did. I love it. I love everything he's doing out there and his energy, and check out his website. But are your training packages on your website?
I think they are. Not sure. I'm really not sure at this point.
Reach out to him first, right? And find out what's best suited for you. Because here's the thing, you go on there and you see a lot of influencers like Cleveland or myself, and we answer our own DMs. So if you DM, like, we're who you're talking to. So I know with mine, something pops up so that they know I've gotten it, but I don't respond maybe for an hour or two later when I sit down to do my responses, but they talk to me. So if you have questions, go to his DM and reach out to him, because he answered mine.
Yes. I'm very active, and I absolutely love getting DMs and talking to people. So please come on over.
Well, Cleveland, thank you so much for being on the show. I love your story. I love your mission and your passion for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Oh My Health, There Is Hope podcast. Make sure to visit Jana's website, bestholisticlife.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, or listen there, so you'll never miss an episode. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that'll help too. Let's change the world together, one health expert at a time. Looking forward to seeing you next time.